Hey everybody, so just a couple quick updates for you guys before I get to today's main event. First, on Fishing Spot Retirement Home, Karen. On that front, so those young rascals have actually uploaded a whole extensive video of their own here on their one of their YouTube channels that has tons of extra footage, including when they met the police officer that was called on them, and a story time segment at the end about everything that went down. So if you're interested in that, go check out their YouTube channel. It's Caden Flores, and this is what the video looks like. So second, I know a lot of people wanted an update on Parking Townhouse Karen and her daughter from the most recent Public Freakouts Unleashed video, but strangely enough, the TikTok account that posted it, at Licia Lee, has gone completely dark since they posted the incident, which hardly ever happens. No posts, no comments, no likes. I'm only speculating here, but it could be because of the number of people in the comments who said they shared blame for the incident's escalation, and they didn't want to attract any more heat, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I'll keep an eye out and let you know if they decide to brave it. Okay, now for the meat. I want to talk about an incident from a recent video on Public Freakouts Unleashed. I think, don't quote me on this, I think it was the most recent one, where a woman found herself in a screaming match with all of the other people at a dog park in New Jersey over the way her 3 dogs were acting toward everyone else. A lot of people were confused and have since gotten some new information on what all the hullabaloo was about, and an update on what happened once the police actually got there. This initial video comes to us from a TikTok user named Tay, who until this whole debacle had just been posting cute and very non-serious videos of her Doberman Jackson doing, well, what Dobermans do. But that day at her local dog park, she found herself embroiled in a chaotic scene when a belligerent, loud woman, with whom Tay and her park mates had experienced, actually, as it turns out, her park mates and one of her friends had experienced this lady before. This was Tay's first rodeo with this lady. So anyway, this lady brought her 3 dogs back to the park despite their history of causing problems. The footage picks up as she's already into the action, but she did a pretty good job of getting this footage, and it really was pretty incredible to watch. Definitely a best of the year contender for December. Anyway, let's review.
And you're leaving your dogs in a locked car with the windows up? Huh? Please, someone come. Yes.
I know, baby. Crazy stuff. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
Come right now. Yes, you listen to her. You're listening to her, right?
Stupid ass. I said to her, it's not about me. You can call me all the names. You can spit on me. You can poke me. It's about your dogs. Stupid ass.
And my dog was with another dog. He was fine.
Lady, your dog has attacked a lot of people.
So in case you missed that, a lady just said, your dogs have attacked a lot of people to the woman who's the Karen in this situation.
The lady in there said something. The people down at First Street talk about you on their own talks all the time. Come on.
And do you care about your dog?
You need to do what's right by your
I'm
dog.
waiting for the police because you smacked me. I'm going to show you.
Oh, stop yelling. If you care about your dogs, which you clearly don't because you're abandoning them in the car. No, you shut the
Shut up! You shut up!
That's why your dogs are the way they are.
Your dogs are gonna die. They're gonna hurt someone and be put down. Do you want that to happen?
Shut up!
No, you
nuts.
shut up.
I'm waiting for the police.
Let them call
We're
me. You've
waiting.
got
We're
3.
waiting
She's
too.
got witnesses, honey. You don't.
Let me see how crazy you are.
Okay.
Watch.
I'm waiting.
Watch.
Where do you live? Go sit your ass over
I already took a picture of her license plate.
You watch your mouth, bitch.
No, you watch your mouth, bitch. You watch your dog. You just abandoned them.
Because I'm not going anywhere until the cops come. Collect you all.
You talk to her. So we can tell them
Your dog's running around off leash.
threatening people.
Okay. I saw her and I heard her spit in your face. Yeah. She spit.
I like where she's like
That woman spit in her face.
She also
No,
leaves
her
her.
dogs attacked my dogs. Both my dogs got bit.
I just did nothing to you.
I said something to you, didn't I?
The police. She smacked me on the face.
Oh, no, she didn't.
I have it on video. She did not.
Her dogs threatened people. They're all police chasing after people in the park. They're screaming.
Jackson, what do you think?
So obviously that's totally bonkers, and she breaks into a hysterical victim cry at the end there when the police show up, but a whole bunch of people were a bit confused about what the backstory was here, and even more wanted to know what happened to the shrieking Karen lady once the police she called on herself actually arrived. Now, this clip was the only footage of the confrontation, but there was a short clip uploaded immediately after that showed the woman's 3 dogs running around on the outside of the dog park, totally unrestrained. Check this out.
This was the first video I took before all that nonsense happened, but she lets the leash go and they run up on people. Like, it's nuts.
It's worth pointing out, that all of the people involved in this that are going back and forth with quote-unquote dog park Darla, as our protagonist Tay calls her, they all are genuinely concerned, or at least seem to be concerned, for the welfare of her dogs, despite the havoc that they apparently regularly cause. You know, they're dog owners themselves. They love dogs, as do I. So it looks like this lady, who seems adamant that she's in the right throughout this entire confrontation, brought 3 dogs that she couldn't control, and which had a history of playing badly with the other dogs at this dog park, and then let go of their leash until they ran around harassing random people outside of the bounds of the dog park. But I, like many of you, still had a ton of questions, so I was ecstatic to see that there was a full-length follow-up, lucky us, posted a couple of days later, where our protagonist spills all of the tea and even tells us what ended up happening to Dog Park Darla, our second DPK, or Dog Park Karen, of this channel so far. You'll remember that we did the one with she was freaking out about the pity. That was one of the early videos. Great episode. Anyway, here's her version of events, her recollection of that fateful day.
Alright, y'all wanted, some info, so I'll just give it to you. This is my baby right here, Jackson. But basically, there's this Karen who I've heard about. I never met until that day. Her dogs, she brings 3 dogs into the dog park. And keep in mind, this dog park only allows you to have 2 dogs per person. She's one chick and brings 3 wild-ass dogs she cannot control. It was clear she couldn't control these dogs.
So not only was she bringing unruly, untrained, poorly socialized, and uncontrolled dogs to the public dog park to make them everyone else's problem, she was even bringing more than you're allowed to bring in the first place. What a treat for everyone involved.
By the way she was walking up, they were pulling and taking her all different directions, and she ended up letting go of the leash. The dogs didn't come to the dog park. They ran off and started chasing this woman that didn't know them, and she's screaming. And then she gets a wrangle of her dogs and starts walking up to the dog park. I'm like, ma'am, are you coming in here? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, let me leash up my dog and leave, because I've heard that your dogs are aggressive and you shouldn't even be coming in here.
Okay, so it was technically Tay who initiated this confrontation in the first place. She approached this woman after seeing the chaotic scene with her unruly dogs as she was coming up to the dog park, and sort of made this comment to her about the lack of control and, the history and what she'd heard over her animals. Not that it was an unwarranted comment or anything, I might add. She sounds like she needed a good confronting over this, so it was bound to happen eventually.
So I leash up my dog and start walking out. And as I'm walking out, I'm like, you know, you really shouldn't have 3 dogs in here. The limit's 2 per person. And she's like, mind your business, bitch, and like starts giving me the finger and stuff. So we have words, and I'm like, girl, you're making it mine and everyone else's business when you're bringing your aggressive ass dogs into a dog park. It's a public area. You're making it everyone else's business. I leave, call my friend who, the blonde one in the video that's like pointing in one of the videos.
And I'm pretty positive she's talking about this lady right here, to be clear.
Her dogs got attacked by this woman's dogs. And so she's like, I'm on my way. And by the time we get back to dog park, she's gone. We don't know where she is, but we see her car because she came in that red Kia. And so we're hanging out, and then all of a sudden we hear screaming. One of her dogs gets off the leash and is running up to this woman, and she's running away and screaming. And I'm like, why is this even happening? Why? If you can't control your dogs, don't come here.
Oh, so, okay, she confronts her a bit at first. The lady is nasty to her about it. Tay then leaves the dog park, and it sounds like calls her friend, said blonde woman, who has confronted this Karen about her dogs before. She's been wrapped up in this drama previously, to come back her up in the coming battle. And by the time she gets there, sure enough, this lady's dogs are predictably causing chaos and terrorizing the neighborhood. Huh.
That's him crying because he wants to go. He's ready. It's too sunny outside today. But anyway, so Sharon ends up walking up to her, and they get into it at the car. Like, it's like this, and I'm keeping an eye on her dogs and my dogs. So like, that's why I'm not like up there with her. That's, some people are like, why weren't you supporting your friend? I'm watching our dogs. Like, I'm trying to be responsible. I was keeping an eye, and that's why, you know, the camera gets out of focus, because I'm I'm making sure my friend's okay. I'm sorry. I'm not a photographer. You can go to Hollywood for that, I guess. Long story short, they start arguing. The chick spits in my friend's face twice, pushes her forehead with her finger, and my friend had enough at one point and hit her with the chuck it launcher. I'm just like, what the heck? What is life right now?
So there were some assaults back and forth here. The lady spit at her twice and jammed her finger into her forehead. Extremely disrespectful. That would piss anybody off, right? NOP's friend sounds like she gave her a smack with that toy ball throwy thing in response, which you hear Karen say at one point that she got hit as well in the initial video. The weird thing here is that in the moment, everyone who was there denied that she had been bonked back. And here we find out afterward that in fact she did. Okay, now we find out what the police did about it when they got here in this next little part.
So that's when I stopped the video, and I walked over and took a picture of her license plate, and I gave her a few words, but the girl ended up calling the sheriff's office, so the sheriff's come, but she called it on herself because she got a summons for her dogs being off leash, so we won.
So Dog Park Karen 2, in the end, called the police on herself and got a summons, which, as a legal refresher, means she'll have to appear in court, and as long as the victim in this circumstance, which I only have to assume was the woman the dogs were going after outside of the dog park itself that Tay mentions in her story time, shows up and testifies that the dog was off leash, this Karen, or as Tay calls her, Dog Park Darla, will be found guilty and at the very least fined. But I also think it's important to note that while this isn't likely to be a super serious outcome for Darla, the more serious outcome would probably have led to her dogs being taken from her and put down, which I simply can't endorse any way you slice it. Hopefully, though, she learns from this experience and gets her dogs under control. They clearly need some training, probably some pretty intense training, or maybe just don't take them to dog parks if they don't like other dogs. But given her belligerence and overall demeanor, I'd say the chances of her taking some big lesson from this are low. As for her dog, how Jackson is doing, he seems to have been rather upset by the incident.
This is how Jackson feels about all that crap. He's so traumatized. What's wrong, honey? Did the Karen scare you? Oh. All the doggies are okay, by the way, for everyone asking.
Good. So it sounds like all the other doggos are doing okay. We wish him and his owner all the best. Anyway, that's our story for today. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, and if you have any reckoning story recommendations, drop them below. All right, see ya.